Alright, I've been a gamer my whole life, and I have no idea what this term even means. So it's about time I unravel this mystery, because when I think of anything with the last word in it as gate, I think it's a conspiracy. So let's see what this is.
We're almost 3 years away from the beginning of GamerGate, and yet
yeah?
we're still constantly misunderstood by the normies. So here's a short and simple metaphor explaining GamerGate.
I'm a normie. Yes, I am a normie. I've been plugged into this industry my whole entire life. But there was a period in my life, and I think this happened about 7 years ago-ish, where I kinda was in limbo. Let's just say that. So yeah.
Imagine a banquet hall with 100 tables that represents all gamers.
Okay.
And don't worry, there's not going to be any math here. Our tale begins
I love
as
math.
meant to do, with a boy and a girl.
Alright, we got The Sims, and we got God of War. Okay.
Terrible breakup.
Wait, did I just involve myself? Wait, let's go, come on.
So the boy goes and writes an angry breakup blog post, accusing the girl of all sorts of juicy, terrible things. Did she do any of these terrible things? Who cares? It's not important. That's not what GamerGate is about.
What?
This juicy blog post spreads to various internet forums and communities, represented in our banquet hall
So pretty much this is how Facebook was made, right? Naturally.
as one table.
Ooh.
Yes, only a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of the entire population of gamers were even remotely aware of this juicy
That's my fucking desktop. The guy stole my desktop.
gossip.
Okay.
But it was juicy gossip, so it was talked about vehemently at this one table.
Oh
Harsh
shit,
words-
yep, you know how it is, yep. When you got the tea and that tea is fucking potent. Ooh, boy, we be talking, bro. People be talking, bro.
were
They be
thrown.
John.
Lots of
Oh my god, did you hear what Becky did?
Yup.
Slut. Totally.
Yep. Especially when you got a couple drinks or a couple chicks. That shit gets out of hand, man.
because this is the nature
Been there.
of juicy gossip.
Yup.
It has nothing to do with sex or gender or race or whatever.
Nope.
Juicy gossip is drama.
Yup, and people love to talk about other people's shit.
And people
100%.
love them some drama.
Oh
But
my god.
still, one table.
But what?
However, it turns out the girl at the center of this drama was sitting at the next table over. And that was the table filled with indie game developers, game journalists, and people who run gaming websites. And it just so happens that the girl was friends with many of these people.
Oh
So
no!
not wanting to be the center of this new drama, complains to her table. And
Oh,
they
boy.
nod and say,
Oh, that's so terrible.
They're terrible people. We should kill them with our journalism.
How can they do this to you?
Yep.
then they turn
All white knights unite with the powers they have. They all have the powers of the 9 rings because they're mortal men. But guess what? They've got clout.
and stare angrily at the one
think.
table discussing the drama. But there is a problem. The table with all the gaming journalists is a corner table against a wall.
Oh.
So they've lost sight of the entire room. All
Naturally,
they can see
okay.
Is this one table.
I see where
out
this
of
is going.
100. And
Yep.
here they make the classic fuck up. They assume
So they assume everybody hears what's going on because they're right next to this issue. Meanwhile, everybody, like me, at the time, that loves video games is all the way on the other side, just enjoying his shit, right? Doesn't know what the fuck's happening. To this day, I'm just learning about this shit.
all the other tables
Okay.
are talking about the drama as well.
False expectations.
Pro tip, they weren't.
Yep.
And on top of that, there's always that one guy in every group that takes things too far.
Of course there is. Of course there is. And you know why I know this? It's 'cause I was that guy. On occasion. Sometimes I had to, be I saw it was going too far. Everyone's been every
So
other
our table
role in
of
this whole
game
thing, you know?
journals gets angrier and angrier.
Oh
How
no.
can all these people believe such terrible, slanderous
I've got to take a moment and say, and this is going to be a long ride. This is like a cinematic movie we're having right now because I need some education on this topic. But this editing job, I didn't shout him out, but PSA Sitch, the editing job is crazy. This came out when? This came out. He only has 118k subs, dude. 1.2 million views 7 years ago. All right, put that in perspective. Bro. So this happened 9 years ago.
Their dear friend. And as the table whips itself into a frenzy of self-righteous
I was 18.
anger,
That's crazy.
they decide to do something very, very stupid.
What they do?
The table rises as one, walks on stage, stops the music.
This is the way.
room goes silent, and they say,
Everyone in this room is a horrible, sexist, misogynist, loser, scumbag.
Bro, I've actually had this happen to me, bro. Actually, bro, 100% have had a life experience like this. I was in middle school, and it's crazy. I've told this story to a couple of people that didn't go to my middle school, and they had kind of a similar situation. I was in 7th grade, and we had a couple food fights that year. And we had the Hornet Wars. If you don't know what Hornets are, look it up. It's where you get like a rubber band and you get a piece of like notebook paper, and you pretty much, let me see if I have one. I have a post-it note. So you pretty much fold it up, right? You fold up that note card, you fold it, and then you get the rubber band, you stretch it out like a slingshot, you put this right on top of that rubber band, pull it back, and boom bada bing, you have yourself a deadly weapon in middle school. And dude, Hornet Wars were awesome. It was so much fun. People were taking you know those pens that are really cheap, but they have the metal side piece that can clip onto stuff for no reason. Who's gonna clip it onto their shirt? I don't know, but they have that some reason. And so you could pull that off, and then you would have a metal Hornet, and you could, bro, it got intense. I remember some dude called me the F word, not the fun one I like to say all the time. Back in the day, I used to say it all the time, but the one I still use, it's not that one. It's not the one with 4 letters. He called me that while he was driving by on his bike when I was walking home from school. Dude, and this guy was like the joke of the class. Like, everybody hated this guy. He was so annoying. He was weird. He was smelly. But he was just obnoxiously, he was just obnoxious, right? Call me this while he's driving by, and I pull back and just straight up quick scope him with the Hornet. Hits him in the eye. He cusses out loud, and he's like, the way our path is when we're walking home, it's on the side of a lake. So he like falls, and he starts rolling downhill, and he falls into the lake. It was awesome. One of the most epic moments of my middle school memories. But so, long story short, we were really outgoing as our 7th grade class, and our teachers did not like it. We talked back. When we had a substitute, we, just like that one guy said, that one guy goes too far. It was pretty much the whole class was like that, and we would all just push the substitutes to their breaking point. So one day they all sit us down, pull us out of class, have a voiceover on the comm saying, "Everyone from 7th grade, it is time to assemble in the bleachers," or some stupid shit. So we all walk to the gym. We're all like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is there a bomb threat or something? Like, is there like an actual issue? And they pretty much sit us down and tell us how we're the worst class they've ever had. The principals come out and talk about it. The teachers come and talk about it, just lecture us for like 30 minutes straight, pretty much, telling us how we're the worst ever. And it's like, I mean, we were really bad, but at the same time, I'm over exaggerating because it wasn't completely like everybody. There's definitely a culture and atmosphere that we had, but it was definitely, a select few groups of kids that were really rowdy, which kind of raised the bar for everybody else to meet. But yeah, it kind of relates to this in some way, Oh yeah, we were pissed.
And this
I would
is
be
what
mad.
started GamerGate.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't the girl and the boys breakup. It wasn't the gossip about the girl and the boys breakup. It was this. It was the gaming journalist's reaction to the gossip of the girl and the boys breakup.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened next?
So for us, it would be, one substitute gets pissed, a couple teachers get pissed, couple police searches of lockers to find Hornets, and they find just fucking zip. Bro, we had fucking Hornets on stock. We had like clans and factions and teams and shit. Bro, we had fucking Ziploc bagfuls, like the big gallon bags full of Hornets, bro. And if you had like the metal ones, it was like hollow points. It's like, oh, you had the good shit.
Majority of the people in the room said, "Who the fuck are these assholes?"
Yeah.
And went back to playing video games. The
Yeah.
next largest group of people stood up and said, "Who the fuck are you to call me sexist?" I didn't even know about this stupid breakup drama until you told me about it now.
Yep.
The remaining group of people, the small.
This is funny because I feel like this relates to today. Because there's so many controversies going on, and I cover a couple of them, but there's a lot of them going on in the gaming industry constantly. And it's fun to throw my opinion out there, but sometimes I'm watching something, and if it like doesn't spark, like for instance, this is perfect. We have the ghost of Yodi, the sequel, the second Ghost game. It comes out. I was blown away. Most people were blown away. But then there's this controversy that pops up on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the next day. People are talking about it on YouTube. I talked about it a little bit because I want to throw my 2 cents in because I thought it was absurd. But it's like most people are chilling, and then out of nowhere this huge story breaks, and it's like, where did this come from, bro? Like, what?
But housing a large amount of gaming media figures panicked. Because,
of course they did.
No, we're not sexist. So they bent over backwards and tied themselves into knots, trying to prove to the table of gaming journalists that they were not sexist.
I wonder if he's going to get into the details, 'cause I'm really interested. Like, obviously he set up this this metaphor, this comparison, right? I want to actually know the actual real facts. This is 9 years ago. I'm sure Blizzard's not involved in this at all. I'm sure they're not,
So why exactly did GamerGate take off the way it did? Well, there's 2 reasons.
Okay,
The
let's hear it.
first is that it revealed to people the incestuous
God.
relationship the majority of the gaming press and gaming sites had
Technica.
with each other, and that they would actually plot to shape a narrative together behind closed doors.
This video is from 9 years ago? 9 years ago? Alright, let's go.
And second, this way of thinking that we now label as SJW or regressive had been building for a while now.
Okay, this all makes
slowly
sense.
Spreading out.
I thought this was a new phenomenon.
And this new attack,
Boy, was I
shaped
wrong.
by these regressive ideas, was the tipping point, the final straw. The dam broke.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
This attack and the response was the first true battle of the current culture war.
Uh-oh.
However, those fighting against the game journos did not possess future vision. The ideas of SJW and regressive ideology were not as clearly defined and understood back then, for they had been limited to attacking smaller communities. So the movement, the GamerGate movement, couldn't organize itself around the idea of being a counter to all of that. But they felt they had to organize around something. We all know the saying, define yourself before others define you.
Yep.
So hastily, GamerGate defined itself on what it understood at the time, the corruption of journalism. But here's the thing, while that is a very important issue, more so now than ever, that was not truly the heart and soul of GamerGate. That's not what got so many people motivated. What GamerGate truly was the beginning. It was the first time a large group of people stood up against the spreading of regressive SJW ideology, stood up and said, no, we're not gonna take your shit anymore.
So he said 2 years ago, and this is 7 years ago, this is 9 years ago, this is 2016, I believe, if my math is correct, maybe 15, let me think about this, 15, no, 16, it says 2024. I'm so confused. I was on Twitter, right? I wasn't watching YouTube really about games at the time, but I mean, I was on Twitter and stuff like this. You would think this would pop up in my feed, but I guess maybe I just didn't, socialize with the same crowds now. I don't know, this is weird. I didn't think like all this, SJWs and all this kind of stuff was really prevalent back then. This is actually like kind of mind-boggling how long this has been going on, and I had no idea. I feel like
was the first organized battle
innocent bystander.
of the new culture war.
Okay.
The irony to all this is that GamerGate is one of the biggest examples of the Streisand effect. How
The fuck does that mean?
would the landscape look right now if those journalists hadn't insulted an entire group of people, and the drama faded away naturally? So if someone wants to know what GamerGate is,
Yeah.
you can simply say it was a reaction to an industry calling its customers sexist.
Okay. That's it. I thought there was a lot longer, but it's not. Dude, this video is so good. I think that's also... Gosh, I keep redlining my freaking mic. Am I speaking that loud into it? I think this makes a lot of sense now why this term is... Because I've heard this term forever. For like the last 5 years, which makes sense. And I've seen people say that there's a second GamerGate coming. And people... Somehow this ties into YouTube ads or something like that. I don't know. I don't know all the details on that. I've just heard ramblings about the lore a little bit, and I can never piece it together. But this is the source of it. I think this situation is definitely prevalent today, right? Because you have very it feels like minority thoughts that are very loud, and I don't know, man. Not minority as a minority citizen, but a minority movement, and it gets spread, and it's the concept of everyone thinks that games are woke these days, and it's I can see sometimes examples of it feels like an agenda is being pushed on a video game, right? There's a lot of scenarios where that feels the case, but also sometimes it's not really an agenda. For instance, Outlaws, I feel was more like a Disney agenda because they wanted the game to be more Disney, more kid-friendly, more Disney brand-friendly, which causes issues with the specific IP, Star Wars Outlaws. That obviously contradicts itself when you try to push that narrative. Yeah, that's just something I can think off the top of my head, but and also the trend of making protagonists uglier. I know Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, is the first one, and then they had the second one, and they kind of made her a little chubbier and uglier. I don't know if they stepped that back or if they kept that forward. I just didn't pay attention to that game that much. I actually saw that Zero Dawn spiked, so I went and bought it on eBay. Ugh, fucking dog hairs in my mouth. Just dog hair floating around my room, man. It's fucking annoying. Yeah, so this makes sense. I think this still goes on today 100%. I think there's a lot of overreactions with studios. I mean, you see who was it? EA was pushing AI for their video games, for their stockholders to excite them, but at the end of the day, I think the way you excite a stockholder is you make banger video games and they're cult classics every single time, and that should excite a stockholder, because if you're putting out a good product, the product will be received well by the masses. We've seen that. That's a trend, that's a pattern, that is business in gaming. You put out something that's good, people are going to play it. Now, saying that, there's obviously a game for everybody, right? Everybody has their own niche. Everybody has their own vibe. So, that's going to vary. Like I said in the beginning of the game, a girl is more likely to like Sims, and a guy is more likely to like God of War. There's a reason for that, Girls are more girly, guys are more guy-y. But there's also crossover, and we've seen a lot of that lately. So I'm not trying to be, saying definites or anything like that, but I think this GamerGate, that this video is from 7 years ago, which happened 9 years ago, I think this is so important to pay attention to, because it feels like, I don't think every video game is woke, And there's a video that came out that I saw by Ackman. You should go check it out. I haven't watched it yet because I want to react to it. It's literally titled that. Everybody thinks video games are woke nowadays. I don't think that's the case. I think it's when I imagine people making video games as a kid, I imagine like the Bungie team, the OG Bungie team, like a bunch of guys out of college. Didn't realize they were fucking geniuses at the time. I was just a dumbass kid. But, you know, a bunch of dudes just playing video games, love video games, drink beer, straight up chads, you know. And it's not like that, you know. It's a wide pool of people that play video games and fall in love with them and make them, right? So you'll have, you know, first person shooters that are made by someone that's never played a first person shooter, or like a Halo game that's, you know, made by someone that's never played a Halo game, or a Star Wars movie that's made by someone or acts in it that's never watched Star Wars or doesn't like Star Wars. I don't like that. You know, I think everyone that works on the project should have a passion for that project. So it's a passion project, you know, makes sense to me. But then again, there becomes like, you know, fairness of hiring people and all this crap that gets in the way, that legal stuff that I don't understand at all. And ethics, you know, fair, you know, everybody should have a fair shot to something. But I really do think, I don't know. I just, I'm just shocked that GamerGate, it relates so much to what I see nowadays. It's crazy.
A reaction to an industry calling its customers sexist.
Yep. You know what's funny? I threw up this one because I used to always, I love basketball. The reason I go by Trey Swish is because I get buckets, right? When you make a shot and it doesn't hit the rim, it swishes. I love basketball, and I used to always throw up the three like this on the eyes, stuff like that, because I love, you know, shooting threes. Dude, someone called me a white supremacist one time because I did that on Twitter. They're like, "Oh my god, you're part of the Triple K." I was like, "What the bro, what?" Bro, I was so confused, and little did I know some Reddit thing brainwashed everybody thinking that doing this is a form of white supremacy. So, like, there's overreactions everywhere, right? Everywhere on the internet. You never know what's going to happen next. So, yeah. Yeah. This was an awesome video, man. This was really good. The reason I thought this was going to be a longer video because I was trying to find a good video to watch to understand, like, exactly what this is. GamerGate is. And 7 years ago, bro. What a good, I'm gonna give it a like. If you enjoyed this reaction, go get this video a like. Maybe watch it yourself. Go give him some views. If you comment on his video, say the ether sent you. Wow, let's look at the comments real quick. Sorry, I gotta keep going. My juices are flowing right now. Reminder that it is an official FBI document. What the fuck? That in the official FBI document, the one notable death threat that was submitted is literally the Navy SEAL copy paste. What? Bro, what? What the fuck? What am I missing? FBI? Notable death threat? Navy SEAL? Bro, what? The fuck is a Navy SEAL copy paste? Bro, I'm so confused now. I thought I had a grasp on what the fuck this was. Dude, how deep does this hole go? We're almost 3 years away from the beginning of GamerGate. 3 years later, BuzzFeed announces GamerGate movie. Wait, they have a movie? Oh shit. Oh shit. Bro. Okay, this is crazy. I'm gonna keep this as my reaction. Keep it short and sweet right now. Obviously I am ignorant to the subject, right? I understand the concept now. It makes complete sense because I can see it being applied today. But like, oh my god, how deep does this go, bro? Let me know down below if there's any videos that you would recommend me watching and understanding, or maybe even reacting to. Dude, this fucking top comment right here has got me hyped. Let me see the replies. Keck, translate to English. Oh, Jesus Christ. This rabbit hole goes deep as fuck, doesn't it? That's fucking, oh my god. This is the one. Michael S. Guerrilla Warfare confirmed. What the fuck? That report is hilarious to read. Can you please explain the Navy SEAL copy paste means? Like, is this copy paste of submission from a Navy SEAL? What is it? Yeah, for real. What do they say? I replied the Navy SEAL copy paste. If you can't see it, YouTube censored me. Jesus, what? I can't see it, just FYI. Oh, that's what happened. No wonder I can't see my copy paste. Okay, they're just fucking with us now. Oh my god, this video is awesome, bro. This is awesome. Wow.